We want to begin with the news we just received this morning. NBC's Richard Engel and his team were freed from captors in Syria, where they were held for 5 days. Richard joins us now from Turkey, along with photographer John Koistra and producer Ghazi Balkiz. Gentlemen, good morning, and may I be the first to say it is so good to see your faces. Richard, can you take us through and tell us what happened?
Yes, and it is good to be here, and I'm very happy that we're able to do this live shot this morning. We were driving in Syria about 5 days ago in what we thought was a rebel-controlled area. We were with some of the rebels, and as we were moving down the road, a group of gunmen just literally jumped out of the trees and bushes on the side of the road. There were probably 15 gunmen. They were wearing ski masks. They were heavily armed. They dragged us out of the car. They had a container truck positioned waiting by the side of the road. They put us into that container truck. We were with some gunmen, some rebels who were escorting us. They executed one of them on the spot. Then they took us to a series of safe houses and interrogation places, and they kept us blindfolded, bound. We weren't physically beaten or tortured. It was a lot of psychological torture, threats of being killed. They made us choose which one of us would be shot first, and when we refused, there were mock shootings. They pretended to shoot Ghazi several times, and when you're blindfolded and then they fire the gun up in the air, it can be very a traumatic experience. And at the end of this, we were being moved to yet another location in the late around 11 o'clock last night, local time. And as we were moving along the road, the kidnappers came across a rebel checkpoint, something they hadn't expected. And so we were in the back of what you would think of as a minivan. And as we were driving along the road, the kidnappers saw this checkpoint, started a gunfight with it. Two of the kidnappers were killed. We climbed out of the vehicle, and the rebels took us. We spent the night with them. We didn't get much sleep, and we came right here, and we just got into Turkey a short while ago. I mean, I still have on me, I think these guys do as well, the bandages in our pockets. These are the clothes we were wearing.
Made from our bed sheets.
Yeah, they were torn from the bed sheets we were in, and it was a traumatic experience. We're very happy to be here. We're in good health. We're okay. Everyone was great. NBC was fantastic in informing our families and keeping people up to date, keeping the story quiet. But while we're obviously very happy, there are many people who are still not at liberty to do this kind of thing. There are still hostages. There are still people who don't have their freedom inside Syria, and we wish them well.
Richard, it's David, and let me just add, it is so great to see you and your team and to hear from you this morning. Can you take us a little bit more through who you think this was? Did they seem experienced? You and your team have been throughout Syria, and what clues were you getting along the way about what they wanted?
Yeah, I think I have a very good idea of who they were. This was a group known as the Shabiha. This is a government militia. These are people who are loyal to President Bashar al-Assad. They are Shiite. They were talking openly about their loyalty to the government, openly expressing the Shia faith. They are trained by Iranian Revolutionary Guard. They are allied with Hezbollah. We were told that they wanted to exchange us for 4 Iranian agents and 2 Lebanese people who were from the Amal movement. And these were other Shabiha members who had been captured by the rebels. They captured us in order to carry out this exchange. And that's what they were hoping to do. They were going to bring us to a Hezbollah stronghold inside Syria right now. We were on our way there when we ran into this rebel checkpoint, and we had this escape and freedom.
And Richard, John, and Ghazi, I know you are all very experienced, but I wonder how you are feeling this morning, how you're doing, and how you're processing what must have been an absolutely terrifying experience.
Ghazi, you want that?
Well, to be honest, it's when we first got captured, it was, for me at least, it was a bit of a moment of disbelief. But I've worked with those guys for a long time in harsh environments, and we get each other very well. We work with each other very well, and it helped that I was actually captured with them because we kept each other's spirits up. And I'll be honest, I mean, they were long, 5 hard days, and there were few moments of despair, at least for me. I thought about my family, my brother, my parents, my wife, and I was feeling bad of what I've been putting through because of my captivity. But it did help a lot that we were together. And I must say, like, when we were freed yesterday, with the rescue by the rebels, it's probably one of the happiest moments of my life. I must say that.
We had talked about that today. Did you find a happy spot? What were you thinking? And I, for one, found a very happy spot, and I stayed there. But during the ordeal, I made amends with my maker. I made good with my maker. I made good with myself. I was prepared to die many times, and
Moving was the hardest part.
it was just disconcerting to move blindfolded from house to house.
And you think they're going to be taking you outside
And
to
in a vehicle
execute
that
you.
you don't know.
For 5 days.
But we did find that happy spot. We kept each other, as Ghazi said, we kept each other.
We passed
and
passed
laughed.
messages towards
And we
each
laughed
other.
a lot.
We joked around. We weren't allowed to speak, but if you sort of peek underneath the blindfold, you can see if maybe there's a guard in the room or not. And we tried to joke a little bit back and forth and keep our spirits up.
Well, Richard, John, and Ghazi, we are just profoundly grateful to see you this morning. I think we can just take a moment and say how beloved you are by this organization and how thankful we are that you're here with us. And I know we'll be talking a lot more soon in the coming days. Thank you. Be well.
Thank you.
And get some rest.